What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the BallGame podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Dean.
I'm Tom.
I'm Chris.
Dean, congratulations. You just got the job to be the New York Jets general manager.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst job in the league.
I was about to say that's not a
deserved.
job that I envy, although it's a position that would make much more money than I am currently making now.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, congrats, Dean. We're going to put you through the ringer here. We're going to make you make moves for your team.
You know what? You haven't been hired yet. We're interviewing you.
Oh,
We're going to
damn.
see how well you do.
Good call.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Tom.
We're going to see how well you do, and then maybe we'll hire you.
Okay.
The first task is tilt your mic. Like,
He's fine.
yeah.
He's not getting the job. He's not.
Right.
Getting he's unprofessional.
Incompetent.
Right? Unprofessional.
So, Woody Johnson, what would you like to know? Who's Woody? Who wants to be Woody?
We're
I'm
all
Brick.
Woody.
We're all-
I'm actually Brick.
You're Brick. Who wants to be a son?
I just said I'm Brick.
He's brick.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
I'm Brick. Why do you
Jeff.
think I'm?
No, he's
showing
bricked up.
I'm a 17-year-old that plays lax.
All right.
All right.
We're all Woody.
Put that away.
We are all Woody.
All right. What do you want to know?
All right. So basically, we've been struggling the past couple of years. It's no secret
Clearly.
that, there have been some struggles in this organization. Parted ways with Bob is how I'm going to put it because I'm Woody Johnson. We parted ways with Bob because he was fucking terrible. No, sorry. I didn't mean that. We need a new head coach first and foremost, okay? So you've heard the names out there. You've heard some of the rumors, whatever. Who do you like for the job?
The guy that I like, who I've been eyeing down for a while, a Jets legend, knows the culture, knows the city, knows what the Jets are about. I'm going to go with Aaron Glenn, who is a proven good coordinator for a good team, who was there for the revival of a franchise, knows what it takes to change a culture, to steer the ship in the other direction, and this is exactly the guy that the Jets need right now. Aaron Glenn, former Jet, wants the job, primed to be a head coach candidate. I think it all lines up to be perfect. I'm not so stuck up on like the whole defensive coordinator rookie coach thing. I think that's kind of it works itself out. I'm not too worried about that. I know a lot of teams are going for the more offensive minded guys like the Vrabels and the Ben Johnsons. But I think Aaron Glenn's a perfect guy for this job to turn the franchise around.
I don't know, fam. For me, he was just spewing. He was just spewing. I'm Brick, bro. I'm Brick.
Oh, right.
I'm in character.
All right. I'm
I
sorry.
don't think he was spewing.
That's
He makes some
skibbity,
good-
brother.
I think you made
That's
some, I think you
skibbity.
made some good points. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Stop
let it
doing
go,
that.
I think
Who invited this kid?
a natural desire to want to see this franchise succeed, unlike a Vrabel who has no ties, unlike a Ben Johnson who has no ties. I think a former player, a guy that has been a part of this franchise, is an integral part in building a culture for the New York Jets.
So you mentioned culture. What do you envision that culture to look like?
Good question, Woody.
Thank you.
I think the culture that we're going to be trying to build is young, fast, easy to coach talent. We're not looking to add these, prima donna veterans, just as filler pieces, as talented as they might be. We want the guys who are going to show up to work every day, put in the work every day, and not have any of the nonsense off the field.
So speaking of prima donna veterans and nonsense off the field, you guys have two prima donna veterans and nonsense off the field at the top of your salary.
Well, you
We
guys,
have.
we have this.
Right.
We all
Yeah.
have this.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Veteran divas at the top of our salary cap chart. What are your plans for those two guys, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers?
Well, one of them's a 95 overall in Madden. So
So
holds a lot
first
of
of
weight.
all, we need to figure out whether or not Aaron has a desire to play another year, because that changes a lot of things. If he doesn't want to play, you don't have to worry about anything. If he does, he's not going to be playing for the New York Jets next season. We want him out. I want him out. I want the Jets to, if he wants to play again, trade him. Whatever you get is a plus. But he's out. And wherever he goes, I'm sure he's going to want Devontae with him. So if you could get them both to the same team, that would be wonderful. I'm not sure which team is going to be willing to take on $50, $60 million. We're probably going to have to eat some of that. Mr. Woody Johnson, open your checkbook.
No.
We're going to have to restructure
don't
these
do
guys
that.
before sending them out. But yeah, whatever, by any means necessary, financially, emotionally, we need to get these guys out of the building. It's not good for the locker room, not good for the culture.
All right, so I rebuilt this team in 1 year in Madden, just so you know. So if you can't fucking do that, you failed at your job. I got to ask you this question. Who's your first free agent signing if you get the job? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a bridge quarterback. I don't think any of the quarterbacks that are available in the draft are the guys that are going to be the Jets franchise quarterback. I just don't see it off first glance. I think that you get a guy like maybe Sam Darnold, who has proven to be
Sam Darnold?
a
You
regular.
do not say that fucking name in this building, all right?
Oh, he's like an 84 overall. Chill.
Jesus.
I think maybe you take a guy like Sam Darnold. I think you take you just take a look at a bridge guy. Even like Jameis Winston's a good locker room guy, a good culture setter.
70.
You know who's a free agent?
Would never hire him.
Who's
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson will never step foot in this facility ever again.
I like this guy.
He will never ever step foot.
Now
in
you're
here
speaking
again.
my
Now you're
language.
talking, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think first year, nobody speaks to me in the draft that I see as the New York Jets face of the franchise. I think we might find that in next year's draft.
So you mentioned a guy like Sam Darnold who had a career year, led the Vikings to 14 wins. Obviously, it didn't end the way he necessarily wanted, but how much, as the GM, how much are you willing to spend on a guy like Sam Darnold? How much money are you willing to take, like, from me to pay a guy like Sam Darnold?
So a guy like Sam Darnold, I think I'd want to structure his contract. I'd want to give him a 2-year contract with heavy AAV. I don't think he's going to accept anything under, 50, 60, 70 million dollars from a team. I think you're going to load that into 2 years and give it
Total, yeah.
Wi-
Oh my God!
2 years.
When you said AAV, that's average annual value. I was like 50 to 60
no.
mil for Sam.
No.
Fuck out of this
What are we
building.
doing?
Whatever total money he's looking,
Hiring the wrong guy.
whatever total money he's looking to accumulate over 3-4 years, you're going to condense that into 2 and give him a team option whenever we find our quarterback. Maybe let him sit behind Sam for a year next year, and that'll be the plan.
So obviously, if Aaron isn't back in the building next year, the biggest need for this team is a quarterback. But aside from that, what positions do you think need improvement this offseason, aside from the quarterback?
Well, let's say we get rid of Devontae Adams. I think finding another stud receiver to go alongside Garrett Wilson is really going to help him. I think once we saw Garrett with a number 2 or a 1A, 1B situation, I think we really saw the how do I want to put this? We really saw what Garrett Wilson could be on a football field. I think the next big need is going to be cornerback. We already see DJ Reed's not going to be willing to come back. Sauce Gardner is maybe not what we thought he was going to be. We need a number 2 corner to go next to him, and maybe a middle linebacker. I think honestly we need everything, but I think those are going to be the spots to really hone in on.
So you mentioned Garrett Wilson. It's clear that he has not been super happy with our organization for a little while now.
We really like him.
We love him.
Yeah.
We love him.
We do.
What are
Can't
your
go-
plans with Garrett Wilson?
So my plans with Garrett Wilson, I would like to incorporate him into our decision in finding a quarterback for this franchise. I'd like to keep him long term. We have 3 years of control. There's no way we're letting Garrett Wilson walk out of this building.
Now, what if the quarterback he wants resides in Charlotte, North Carolina? Bryce Young.
Ooh.
What do you do then?
I don't think that's where he resides, but
What do you mean?
he resides.
You're saying if he asks for a trade,
Where would he want to go?
Basically, yeah.
we tell him no. That's it. Straight up.
Where would Gito?
Straight up,
And
you're
is
not.
that the message you want to send to your players, that basically they're stuck here even whether they want to be here or not when you first take the job?
So the culture we're trying to build
job, Woody.
is a team of players that are gonna play their hardest, whether they're if they're on the team, if you're signed under a contract, and we put you on the field, you're gonna perform, you're gonna play. There's gonna be no Hassan Reddick situations. If you're on the team, if you're getting paid, you're going out on the field and playing.
So, what if we want a hand in personnel decisions and all that? Is that a problem for you, or
I think it's a big problem. You guys are not general managers in the NFL.
Well,
Fuck, did you just say?
I play Madden on a daily basis. So.
Those Madden ratings suck as they are. You know,
So,
buddy.
come at me, bro. 7 Super Bowls in a row, all right?
That's my NFL scout right there. That's my professional NFL scout right there.
Honestly,
Watch
guys,
him out.
17-year-old lacrosse player.
thank you for handing me millions of dollars and entrusting me with your franchise. You are the worst ownership group in sports. But I'm here to fix that for you. I'm here to take all the load off your
Oh,
shoulders.
like this guy's fucking attitude.
I don't either.
I'm here to take.
Pop, we ain't fucking hiring this bitch.
like what I'm hearing.
I need you guys to stay home this season. Don't even
Stay
come
home.
to. Stay home.
Stay in the palatial
Stay home.
estate that we probably own.
Stay home.
We don't got to do a thing.
Stay home.
Stay home.
Stay home. Stay home.
I was rocking with you till you said stay home.
Stay home.
I own the team. I could come to whatever game.
And you're gonna get
Shit,
paid.
I could come in the
you're gonna
locker
get
room if
paid
I want.
just the same.
Come wherever I want.
Stay home.
You had left a bad taste in all of our players' mouths. from
You're
last
leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
We did just say we'll come.
Stay home.
Players do not
season.
like that.
I've been drinking pineapple juice, homie. I don't know how bad it must taste.
All right. Another question. So you mentioned that your plans for the quarterback position is to potentially sign a guy in free agency to be a bridge guy. We currently have the 7th pick in the NFL draft. Is there any specific players? You know, make a draft board for me right now. Your top 3 guys that you're looking to target with that 7th pick.
So I think with the 7th pick, you can go best player available. I think both the quarterbacks are going to be off the board. I think
Would you consider moving from the 7th pick, up or down?
if we can get another first and maybe a second, like there's many ways you could do this, but I think with the 7th pick, most likely we'll end up staying and taking best player available. Obviously, you know, he's probably not going to fall this far. Abdul Carter, everybody loves him. There's another top corner that everybody likes,
Will Johnson.
Will Johnson, that I have no problem taking as the best player available. He might be the best player in the draft. So I have no problem taking a guy like that.
Yeah, we know who that is.
who will fall.
Woody Johnson knows who that is. Yeah.
Brick knows exactly who that is, all right?
A guy who will fall.
I
to
upload the
7th
recent
pick.
draft classes.
So with this plan of having the quarterback next year, I think we could pick the best player. That's all it is. Very simple.
That's a great mindset.
I think
that's what I want to hear.
At every pick in the draft, best player available. Get the talent in the
Sure.
building. We'll figure it out after.
So if I want to be in the locker room post-game and break the boys down, you going to let me fucking do that?
No.
Well, because the draft is very important to us because, you know, we had a guy in Joe Douglas who, you know, he had his shortcomings and we moved on from him. But one thing Joe Douglas did well and made a name for himself with is drafting the right guys and drafting young talent. So that's something we hold our hats on here in New York, is drafting well and drafting the best players available. So
They draft defense well.
you have big shoes to fill in that regard.
I think that the shoes you're referring to are I think you're overrating the size of those shoes.
You're gonna overrate my
Previous hire?
previous hire. That's what you're saying to me,
Joe
right?
Douglas had one good draft.
It was a historic draft.
He had one good draft.
He
out
nailed it.
of what? How many drafts did he have? 5?
You know who we listened
One
to?
for 5, 20%.
This fucking guy.
If you bat
Well,
200,
the
if you
thing
shoot
is,
20%
now
from the field,
you
you're
could help with the draft stuff because there's college football, the video game. So you could use
Oh,
what you learned on Madden.
Don't even worry about it, bro. I've been grinding NCAA.
sure.
Uploaded that draft class straight to Madden. Homie,
Who's
like,
your
let me
favorite-
tell you, Travis Hunter is going to be a we need to trade up to 1 to get Travis, is what we need to do.
Just trade up to 1 to
Who's-
get Ashton JT.
Give up all of our future first-round picks. Go get him. Go get him.
who's your QB1?
Who's my QB1? My QB1 is Carson Beck, but he decided to transfer to Miami. My new
whipped.
QB1.
He's whipped.
my new QB1. That's a good one. That's a good one. I
Us
would.
Woodies, we like that kid from Ole Miss.
The
Dart.
dart
Us Woody's
thrower.
like whoever the hell gets us in the door in the playoffs. And to that point, how long is this rebuild? I mean, we've been a team we've been struggling for a long time. We haven't made the playoffs in a very long time. We want to get back there. We want
Longest
meaningful football.
playoff drought in the NFL currently.
Thanks, Woody.
So it's,
Um,
I'm glad you asked that.
You're welcome, Woody.
I'm very glad you asked that.
Yeah, I was done, but okay.
So my second quarterback
Fucking scumbag. Pops.
that
Fucking guy cuts me off. Fucking guy doesn't like my GMs. Tells me I can't go.
What are you gonna say? Tell me.
Doesn't let
Tell
me in
me.
the fucking locker
I
room.
forgot now. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
good.
Answer the question.
Yeah. The second quarterback outside of Sam Darnold that I think could propel us to a playoff appearance. There's two guys. Sam Darnold, I think, could help us. I think we have enough talent with Sam Darnold to construct a team to squeak into the playoffs. I think that's possible. The second guy that I had in mind was Justin Fields. I think he's an interesting option. Already has a history with our top receiver. Has both dimensions of being able to run and throw. I think that might be the perfect bridge QB for what the Jets are trying to do outside of Sam Darnold, who may just not want to be here after trying out being a Jet for the first time.
So, how long before we're in the playoffs? How long is this rebuild?
Well, what
gonna
I'm
take?
saying is if we sign one of those guys, it could be as soon as this season with the talent we already have on the roster.
Wow.
Okay,
Whoa.
you can
So
get me
we're
the
a team
playoffs
who
next
hasn't
year?
made the playoffs in over a decade, and you think you're just going to walk in here and lead us to the playoffs because you brought in Justin Field.
So I think the problem with your organization.
Whoa! Whoa!
The problem with the organization is that we haven't made the playoffs, buddy. All right.
Well, the reason why that hasn't happened is because you've brought in coaches that don't hold their players accountable.
Oh, here we
Oh
go.
my God.
I didn't realize we had Twitter sitting on fucking on the couch.
You know what?
Let us have
Accountability's
it.
not
All
a
right,
stat
let
on
us have
Madden.
it. All
Fuck
right,
Bob
hold us
anyway. I didn't like
accountable.
him. I
You know
didn't like
what?
him.
He's holding us accountable in this interview.
So I actually like Bob.
it.
I think Bob's a great defensive
Bob
coordinator.
fucking sucked.
I think Bob is a great coach. I don't think he's a head coach. What I'm here to do is
Bob was
be the
bald as
head
shit.
coach and be the foundation of this organization and really, I think Aaron Glenn does that for us.
So what's your hair situation like?
My hair situation?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Do you have fire hair or what? Take
I'm
the
gonna-
hat off.
No.
Oh,
He's trying to rep the
Can't
organization
today. Can't today.
you buy that hat
Honest-
from the team store?
Do you guys have any more questions?
Look,
for him?
Shit's not
So,
fake, right?
Nope.
Sign Sam Darnold or Justin Fields. Draft the best player available.
Get rid of Rodgers.
Are we
and
drafting Quinshawn Judkins because he was nasty in NCAA?
If he's there in the second round, I'm going to take him.
All right. That's a terrible pick, but okay.
Adams.
Yeah, I'd prefer that draft running back in the
We're
second
gonna
round.
pretend you didn't say that, but okay. See your Rodgers and Devontae. Hire Aaron Glenn. Are you gonna let Aaron pick the coordinators, or are you gonna have a hand in that?
Aaron Glenn?
Yeah.
Um,
Assuming you get him.
I'm going to let my coach pick the coordinators that he's going to work well with. I'm going to let him build his culture into what we're trying to do.
And if he doesn't take the job, do you have a next guy up?
I think that my next man up would be. That's a good question because I
Got
think Aaron Glenn would take
Stumped
any.
his ass.
I
You
think,
got him.
I think Aaron Glenn would take any contract we throw at him at this point. I think he said
Saying the man's desperate.
he told me he wants to be a Jet.
He told you.
He told
You
me.
had a conversation with him
Yeah,
about this already.
yeah, he told me he wants to
Fucking
be a Jet.
tampering, asshole.
He did. He did tell me he
You're
wants to be
paying
a
the
Jet.
fine.
No, he's a free
Right,
agent.
true.
He's
I
free
think
agent.
in a perfect world, I mean, we could also, Ben Johnson would be the next pick.
Okay.
Well-
One of the Lions guys.
This world isn't perfect.
This world sucks.
That's why we're picking Aaron Glenn.
We ain't getting no Ben Johnson.
So I just want to revisit something. So if Garrett Wilson asks for a trade, you're going to tell him no.
I'm gonna tell him, wait one more year. We have you under control. We'll negotiate an extension for you. We'll do anything in our power to make you feel like you want to be here. Whatever you need, let us know. If you want to have a hand in picking our bridge quarterback, let's do it. If you want to, come to us and scout some quarterbacks for the draft, let's do it. Whatever you want, let's work it out.
Can we get wrecked in the locker room after games?
If that's what Garrett Wilson wants.
Okay. Sick.
So now it's only about what Garrett Wilson wants. There's 52 other dudes on the team. Got him.
Well, the thing is,
Right, what if you
none
don't
of
like-
those, none of those guys are Garrett Wilson.
What if you don't like the guy he endorses? What if he endorses a quarterback you're not a fan of? Or we're not a fan of.
I don't imagine a world where Garrett Wilson's gonna be a non-ball knower and not not pick a good
I have a
quarterback.
lot of faith in Garrett Wilson. I mean, I'm
do.
just saying, there's
I do.
coaches, there's
I-
fans,
I
and
To
there's
be
players.
fair, he said Justin Fields, and I think Garrett would be happy with that, given they were teammates in college.
I also trust.
I agree with him
not-
on that
I
one.
trust my top receivers' judgment in
Okay.
people's ability to throw a football. I don't think he wants to,
Fair
derail his own career.
Last question: what's the plan with Brees?
So I like what we have at running back with Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis and Brees. I think that the whole running game starts with the O-line. We have a foundational piece in Olu Fashanu. You have Joe Tippmann. You have Elijah Vera Tucker, who needs to get paid, which we'll take care of. I think that foundation of O-linemen, we need a right tackle and we need a left guard. We need a left guard. Morgan Moses and John Simpson probably not going to be here. Two good locker room guys. I'd like to bring back at least one of them and draft more O-linemen and then hopefully get the running game going. We could see what Brees Hall could do.
I mean, we saw this year that depth at the O-line positions is very, very important in today's NFL. So,
Right.
if we hire you, make sure you have loads of talent in the O-line room.
Yeah, I mean, we
Loads.
I like the signing last year of Tyron Smith. As soon as he went down, you had the 11th pick in the draft to step right up.
Right. That could have been Brock Bowers. That's not your fault.
Well, I think
guy's
I
not
think
there anymore.
I think the Fashanu pick was the better pick than Bowers for the Jets at the
Sure.
time. A cornerstone left tackle
Fuck
is
this
way
guy.
more.
Brock Bowers is like a 99 in Madden now. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. His contested catch rating is
Yeah.
high.
Except who's throwing them the ball?
Justin
Shador
Fields.
Sanders.
Fields or Sam Darnold.
Shador
Shador
Sanders.
Sanders soon enough.
All right.
All right.
You have any more
well,
questions for me?
Slow down there. We'll let you know.
I don't. I think you did a good job.
Do we have enough to make the decision, or do we need some time to think this over?
So,
You know what? I think he's lit.
what if we tell you we don't want Sam Darnold back in our building? That plan it's just not happening.
Okay.
Too much bad blood.
It's just an okay from you. All right, cool. We don't want Sam Darnold back in our building.
Yeah. Then the next man up, Justin Fields. I think those two
How
guys
much
are.
are you willing to pay Justin Fields?
I think the same thing. I think you give him very high 1 to 2 year contract with a team option. I think that's the way to go. You could even go for a third year with the fourth year being a team option because once we draft a quarterback, I'm a big believer in not letting the rookie quarterback start. I think the rookie quarterback should sit behind a vet for a couple of years, regardless.
So you're gonna pay him a lot of money, but like guarantee only like the beginning portion of the contract.
Correct.
Okay,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm with it.
Similar to how the Bucks went about, Baker Mayfield and his career revival. I think he proved himself. Let's say Justin Fields is an absolute baller, right? Let's say he has top 5 MVP season. Not going to happen, but I'm comfortable giving him an extension after that as well.
This guy doesn't shut the fuck up. Damn.
I'm in an interview. You're talking to me. You want me to talk? All right.
I think we hire him and we pop some fucking bottles.
Let's go. Can we pop the sauce?
No,
That never gets popped.
No.
What about
never-
the
never gets
Henny?
opened.
no.
Is there even a bottle
I'm
in
gonna
there?
pop
Don't
your
e-
cherry in 3 seconds.
Don't you dare touch the king.
Don't touch
Stop.
the Henny. Don't touch the Henny. You will never get the job.
You will never get a job in football again. That's it.
It's full.
Put him
I
down.
thought it was an empty box.
Well,
Get him out.
yeah. I mean, you just cost yourself the job.
Idiot. All you had to do was not touch LeBron.
Oh,
How do I redeem myself?
I would if I could.
All right, but no, I think you made some great points, and we definitely have a lot to think about.
He's hired.
No, he's too good.
No, yeah, you're hired.
Let's
Let's go, Justin Fields.
He said we can't be in the fucking building.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, stay home. Stay home.
I mean, what's he gonna do if we show up to the building? Fire us?
Right. Yeah. Right.
We tell him not to make a decision. What's he gonna do?
You know,
Make
just
it?
for that, I'm extending Aaron. So congratulations, you got the job.
Let's go. Thanks.
And if we're not in the playoffs next year, you're fired. Okay.
Deal.
All right.
What do you guys think about the Jets? What would you do? Let's flip it.
I'm no longer.
Now I'm
no
interviewing you.
longer Woody Johnson. I mean Brick Johnson. So I'm just
Yeah, you're just mad.
plain old, not
Plain old-
rich
No,
Matt
I'm
Sullivan.
I completely agree with you. I feel like there's just no world where you could bring Aaron Rodgers back into that building after
Yeah.
the chaos he caused this year. Like, it's cooked, you know. Like you said, you might have to take a hit. Woody Johnson might have to open his checkbook to restructure him before you ship him out. But you got to, you know, as an organization, the Jets have to own their mistakes, and that was a mistake, and move on from it. I think, yeah, in this year's draft, the way to go isn't to force a quarterback. Obviously, you know, we've said it numerous times. These quarterbacks aren't, you know, worth, you know, potentially mortgaging your future to try and trade up and get. You know, if one of them's staring you guys in the face at 7, you obviously consider it, but the odds of one of those guys being there at pick 7 are slim to none. So I think the way to go for the Jets is bring in some type of bridge quarterback, whether it is Justin Fields. I really don't think the Jets could bring back Sam
No, I
Darnold.
don't
It's
think
just
so.
too much bad vibes.
History.
Yeah,
Too much bad vibes there. But a guy like Justin Fields, I think I agree with you. I think it's perfect for what the Jets are trying to do. And like, as much as the Jets were supposed to be a contender this year, it clearly didn't work out. So it's time to rebuild. And a lot of times in a rebuild, you just need a quarterback to just go out there and just be a quarterback, just exist, no expectations. And I think Justin Fields is the perfect guy for that. You won't have to break the bank for him like you potentially will with Sam Darnold, honestly. I think Justin Fields you could get on a much cheaper deal than a Sam Darnold. And yeah, I think in terms of like draft stuff, you're drafting the best player available. I think at pick 7, you know,
Through the draft, yeah.
Carter
Yeah.
could potentially be there. Will Johnson could potentially be there.
Yeah, if you guys
Just
land one of those,
Two
with Aaron
great
Glenn, that'd be-
tackles, you know, Will Campbell and Kelvin Banks Jr. Like there's guys there for you guys. So I feel like at pick 7 in this year's draft, given that, you know, those 2 quarterbacks are locked to be top 7 picks, I feel like the Jets are in a situation where they really can't fuck this up. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
there's going to be so much talent available. So you got to get this pick right, though. Like, you can't fuck it up.
I do agree with what he said, though. Open to a trade down if it was there. Like, if a team wants to get one of those, like, last, like, elite prospects in that group that you just mentioned, like...
Depends who's available.
Depends
Yeah,
available
I think-
what the offer is, yeah.
That's true.
You know, if your guy is there, if the guy you've been, you know, zeroing in on for months is there, you
Because the
gotta
Jets
take him.
also have just been kind of like throwing around draft capital too, so they definitely want to recuperate some
Yeah.
of that.
It's true.
No, I think you made a ton of good points. I like the Justin Fields thing. I don't even mind like one of the Steelers quarterbacks, like even a Russell Wilson, like just again a bridge guy, go out there, just play your game. Another great locker room guy, like his guys love him. But I think the most important thing for the Jets is establishing culture. They just haven't had a culture
guy
since Rex
like-
Ryan's there.
Sorry. If a guy like Quinn Ewers or Jalen Milroe is there for you in the 2nd round, are you pulling the trigger on that?
In the second, not in the second.
Really. I wouldn't take Quinn either.
Yeah, I don't.
And I don't
I'm
think
not. I'm
Quinn
not
declared.
big on those. On
No, he
college
did.
ball, like-
He officially declared?
Yeah, I think
You
so.
could take it back, by the way, because Beck did it too.
he
but
declared, but yeah.
No, I think it was like a deadline pass or something like that.
Really?
I think so.
I feel like there has to be a deadline for that. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
listen, you could do similarly to. I
I think
mean,
it was like a deadline for the guys who aren't in the Natty.
Okay.
not to put a ton of weight in this, but we took Jordan Travis last year in the 5th. I think you take a shot at developing him. I think the new coaching staff should come in. He definitely is talented. Take a shot at trying to develop him. No one's even seen him at practice yet. He's been still recovering from his torn up knee from the season prior. You have him on the team. Might as well look at him. You know, you have a
That's
guy.
scary,
Look at
though.
him
He's
as
been
your
hurt for,
like 4th round pick for this year, basically.
Right. You have right. You basically have a mid-round pick that hasn't played yet coming into this
Yeah.
next season.
That was very productive in college.
Yeah.
He was damn good.
Right.
in
He
college.
brought a program that clearly was not that good
Oh, they
to an
sucked
undefeated
this year.
season.
They were awful this year.
It was all
Yeah, you
what?
drafted him for a reason. Yeah.
It was all Jordan Travis.
Well, no, that defense was stacked and lost everybody. But yes, Jordan Travis was a baller. Keon Coleman was there.
Keon Coleman.
What's that?
Johnny
Eagles.
Johnny
Davis.
Wilson.
Johnny Wilson. Yeah, Johnny Davis.
Johnny Davis. Johnny Wilson on my taxi squad.
That dude sucks.
He's the new AJ Brown. Stop it.
But
Isn't he like 6'7"?
he
Yeah,
is,
he's
yeah,
fucking huge.
6'7", plays wide receiver. But yeah, no, I think you were 100% right on a lot of the things you said. I think the biggest thing you said was they got to get the fuck out the building. Like obviously us in character, I was not happy about that.
No.
But
And like I don't know how the GM is going to keep his boss out of the building. Like I don't really think that's possible. If Woody Johnson wants to interfere, Woody Johnson's going to interfere.
Bro, dude, Woody Johnson's flying a helicopter onto the field to fire his
Yeah.
GM, bro. How much of a supervillain are you that you
Yeah.
got to do all that?
He's an egotistical fucking. He's an egomaniac. Like
Bro,
there's really
when
not
you have
many ways to keep him in check. Unfortunately,
when you have that
he just
much,
has to do it on his own accord.
you have that
kinda,
much
you know?
money, and you were born into that much money. Like it wasn't. He didn't create his wealth. Like his
Right.
ancestors created his wealth.
Right.
When you're
He's
born
Johnson
into
and
that,
Johnson. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
he is. Yeah, exactly. When you're born into that, bro, like you never really know
No, of course not.
what it's like to actually.
You also don't
be-
get told no. Like
Exactly.
yeah, he
Exactly.
Everyone does whatever he wants.
You do
when he
whatever
wants it.
you
Yeah.
do whatever the fuck you want, and everybody does
Oh.
whatever the fuck.
But
you
it's
want.
just like
So,
yeah, it's just like it's not like like Steve Cohen's rich as all hell, but he's just a huge Met fan. Like that's the kind of guy you want.
like I think
running an
Cohen created
organization.
his
Like,
own wealth, though.
Woody Johnson knows shit about football.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly, but
created his
that's
own
the
wealth.
difference. Like,
Yeah,
And he-
exactly.
And he bought the team because he's a Met fan. He just
Yeah.
wants
Right.
to see the team win a
Right,
win
like
a
Woody
World
Johnson
Series.
bought the Jets because it was a massive investment
Right.
opportunity. Like yeah, but no, yeah, I think you nailed it.
So yeah, I agree.
My like I said, my biggest focus would just be establishing a culture. Nail the head coach hire. He gets the coordinators right. Then you can go from there, and then you have a good draft. That's the best way to start a rebuild.
So you're getting Aaron Glenn.
Getting Aaron
I
Glenn.
agree. I think
At all
Aaron Glenn,
costs.
the guy. I think it's honestly Aaron Glenn. I don't know about Aaron Glenn or bust, but like you need a culture setter. He brings
Yeah.
some of that. If he can be like, if you got the Shanahan tree, and then like off of that you got the McVay tree. If you got the Dan Campbell tree, and then off of that could be a similar thing. I'm in full agreement there.
You putting Dan Campbell in the McVays and the Shanahans of the world?
You want Dan as in terms of like a culture setter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want Dan Campbell culture. Maybe not like a schemer schematically. Obviously, those guys are levels. McVay and Shanahan are different, but
I have a
in
question.
terms of a culture,
Do you guys think Shanahan's an overrated coach?
Yes.
I think he's a bit
Yeah.
overrated.
he's
But I
a
still think he's great.
yeah.
Do still think he's awesome, but
Like we
He
talk about the
constantly
Shanahan tree.
folds in big games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like once they go down in games, his record's terrible. Like he's great when he's playing with a lead, for sure, but
Yeah.
he folds in big games for sure.
yeah. Shanahan's
He's
definitely.
definitely overrated.
so you're
But in
cutting
terms of a
Rodgers,
schemer,
right?
like a
just flat out
It
cutting him?
depends. It depends on what
Ooh.
It's
Aaron.
Unfortunately, the Jets have structured themselves to where they're still at the mercy of Aaron Rodgers to see what he says he wants to do. Because if he wants to play again, you have to trade him. If he doesn't want to play, you have to cut him.
As a Jet fan, do you even want to see them run it back?
No,
Rodgers and Devontae.
no,
I
bro.
don't want to see it, but like I can understand a world where someone would come in and say, "Let's run it." Like I could see it happening. It's not like the
I
most
could too,
outlandish
because like
thing.
Aaron's your bridge quarterback. Like a lot of
Right,
guys are gonna
why-
look at that
why
and be like,
bring in
that's
a bridge
better
quarterback when you
situation.
have a
yeah,
bridge
yeah,
quarterback?
Right, I was
Yeah.
about to say I could see a guy coming in and say, "Well, I have a Hall of Fame quarterback here. I have a Hall of Fame receiver. I have a young, talented roster." It's
It's a good place to start.
It's the
yeah.
other guy's fault that they didn't make the playoff. It's
Yeah.
the guys who are making the decisions. That's why they didn't make the playoffs and had a bad season. I could get something out of this group, type of thing.
But you also gotta like the thing is, if you're the GM there, you also gotta say like this roster is 1 year, and then it's done.
Yeah.
Like if we
Yeah.
don't like after this, this is not a 1 year process. Like you need to keep me after this year too. Like this is gonna be the competing year, and then after that we gotta rebuild.
Right.
Like
There needs to be an understanding that this is the plan for this year, but I have a plan for after
Yes.
this year.
yes,
The Cowboys
exactly.
requested to interview Kellen Moore. Isn't that crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy if they hired him as their head coach?
They
That's
interviewed
insane.
freaking Bobby Saleh too. Saleh got like 4 head coach interviews. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, bro, because he's
Raiders,
maybe not that
Jags.
bad. I think the Raiders are gonna get Ben. I really do. But yeah, you can't cut Rodgers. It's just too much
Yeah.
money on the. Unless they're gonna just cut the check for him and say, "See you later, buddy." But I mean, we're talking about 25 and a half.
Which, if you're
Which
going to be a
is-
serious organization, you're going to have to open the checkbook at some point to get rid of these guys.
for sure.
I mean, if you
For
cut
sure.
him after,
Like I think the Steve Cohen example is great. Like I know I'm a Mets fan, but they had the contracts of Verlander and Scherzer. They took on the contracts to trade them to get prospects. They basically bought prospects, and that's how they started their rebuild to get to in 2 years back to where they are in the playoffs.
yeah, it's this is gonna be a crazy offseason for you guys, man. This really
Could be.
is.
I'm done with crazy. I don't want anything to be crazy for the Jets anymore. I just want to be a
Do what you need to do.
freaking
Take care of
normal
business.
franchise.
Yeah.
I just want to go to games, enjoy, maybe make the playoffs every other year and be happy. Instead, it's always the biggest drama
Chaos.
show on
Yeah.
planet Earth.
Yeah.
I don't want it anymore.
Well, let us know down in the comments what you would do to fix the Jets. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Follow us on all our socials. Check out our full podcast popping up on the screen. All that fun jubble. And with that,
Ball game.
Ball game.
Ball game.